Hey, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Tech Conversations. I'm your host Guillermo. It is September 9th. Hope you're all having a great day today. As you can see, it is a green day for me, up $500 today, or about 0.4%. So we'll see what the rest of the day brings us. Now in today's video, I want to talk about how to make money on Webull using the put debit spread, also known as the bear put spread, one of the most popular options trading strategies, best suited for a bearish environment. So before I get into it, all I ask is that you guys hit the like button down below and subscribe, guys. It really helps out the channel. And before you ever enter any options trade, whether it's on Robinhood, Webull, Fidelity, make sure you know how to close it, because most of the time you're going to want to exit out of your options trade prior to expiration. So I made tons of videos on that. Go ahead and check them out. And if you haven't signed up to Webull yet, there is a link in the description below you can use to sign up. If you use the link in the description below, you'll get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,000. It's great having multiple brokers in cases where one is having technical difficulties. You can also have, of course, more day trades if your account is under 25K, since you have 3 day trades on each broker. Now, Webull also offers extended hours trading, so you can trade pre-market between the hours of 4 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and after hours between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, one important thing I need to mention here as well is that to trade put debit spreads and more advanced option trading strategies like butterfly spreads, condors, you do need to have level 3 options. And to have level 3 options on Webull, you do need a margin account. And so if you're wondering why you're not able to use these, that's probably why, because either you don't have level 3 options or you don't have a margin account to have level 3 options. Now, it does take quite a while to switch from a cash account to a margin account. It took me about 3 weeks. So it is kind of a longer process, but if you're not able to do that, that's probably what you should check. So with that being said, guys, I am going to be using the Webull desktop app for this demo, which you can find on their website. If you go to the download tab, you can try their Webull desktop app. And so let's go over there. And so this is what their desktop app looks like here. And so this is what you're going to see. Now, as you can see right now, we're currently on the stocks tab. That's where you want to first go. So currently, as you can see, we're on Apple stock, right? This is the chart for Apple stock. We have the share price of Apple and how it's doing today. But if we go up here, as you can see, there's multiple different tabs we can click on. We're going to want to go into the options tab. Now, prior to going into the options tab, let's actually first head on over to the stock that we want to trade options on, that we want to use this put debit spread on. So let's say that for today's demo, we want to use NEO stock. So I'm going to go ahead and enter NIO and click on NEO here. So it's going to take me over to NEO. Again, it'll show us a chart for NEO, but what we want to do is we want to go up here again and click on the options. So we want to see the options for NEO stock, and here are the options. Now, again, the very first thing that we want to do here is that we want to choose an expiration date. And so the way the expiration dates work on Webull is that they're basically their own little expandable and collapsible section. So right now, if we click on this drop down arrow, as you can see, it'll collapse it. And then basically we can see all the different expiration dates. So the options are kind of contained within each one of these expiration date sections. Now this is telling me how much longer there is until that date. So for example, September 10th, there's 1 day left, 1 day left for that until it expires. So we'd probably want to give ourselves a little bit more time. So I'm just going to go to September 17th just to make it a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. This will expand this and show us all the options that expire on September 17th for NEO. Now, the very first thing we want to do here is we want to go to the top here, and where it says single here, we want to click this drop down and we want to click on vertical. So remember, a put debit spread is also a vertical spread. Vertical spread is basically when you're buying and selling options expiring on the same day, but with different strike prices. And that's the definition of a put debit spread. So this is going to be a vertical spread. So we click on that. Now, it might be easy to get confused here, right? Because there's puts here, there's calls here, there's also a lot of different options. So the very first thing I want to do here is I like to sort my strikes by descending strike price so that the higher strikes are on top. So I'm going to click on that. And so it's going to have the higher strike prices on top and then the lower strike prices as you go down. The other thing you want to do here is, since we're dealing with the put debit spread, right, as the name suggests, we're dealing with puts. So instead of showing both here, let's just click on puts. This will only show us the puts for NIO stock. Lastly, there are a lot of options here. So what we can do is we can go over here to the strikes, and where it says all, click this drop down, and let's show less strikes. So let's only show like 20, right? So again, you don't get too confused, and it's kind of easier to see and navigate here. So now that we've done that, here we have some spreads here, and these are puts, of course. So let's take a look here. So the next thing I want to talk about here is, how does a put debit spread work? How does a bear put spread work? And again, as the name suggests, bear put spread, it's a bearish strategy. We want to take advantage of a decline in price. And so it's going to be very similar to buying a put option by itself. But you're also going to be selling a put to help finance the put that you're buying, to help pay for the put that we're buying. Thus, it's going to make it cheaper, right, with less risk, of course. Since it's cheaper, there's less that we can lose. However, our max profit is going to drop compared to just buying a put by itself. So our max profit is going to be capped here. So the very first thing you want to do here is you want to determine the price that you believe this stock here, which is NIO, will be under at expiration. So let's say that I think NIO will be under $37 a share on the expiration, which again is September 17th. I would start by selling a put at the $37 strike. And then what you're going to do is you're going to buy a put with a higher strike price than the strike of the put that you just sold, right? So let's say I want to sell, let's say I think, again, NIO will be under $37 a share on September 17th. I would sell a put there, and then I would buy a put at a higher strike. And let's say the put I'm buying at a higher strike is at the $39 strike. So I want the 37 strike option, I want the 39 strike option. And as you can see, this doesn't show it here, right? And so what you want to do is you want to go to the width here, and since those are two strikes apart, right? So, 39 to 37, that's two apart. We want to click on 2 here. And now, as you can see, it's going to show us the option 37, 39. So this is exactly what we want to enter here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on the bid here, or the ask, it doesn't matter. We'll click on here. And so ultimately, this is what's going to show up here. Now, a couple of things here, right? So first of all, you can still switch your strategy here if you want. You can switch your strikes here as well, and the width of them as well if you want to switch it up. You can also switch your expirations here. But the very first thing you need to remember is that this is a put debit spread, right? Meaning that we're going to be buying this, and we should be entering this for a debit. Now, as you can see right now, it's telling me this is on the sell side. We want to be very careful. This needs to be on the buy side. We're buying this put debit spread. We're paying a debit. And if we take a look at the individual options, right, this is exactly what we want. We want to sell a put, again, at the 37 strike, because on the expiration date, we believe NIO will be under $37. And then we bought a put with a higher strike, and we had chosen the $39 strike. The other thing to be careful with here is quantity. Right now, this is saying I want 10. You're probably not going to want 10. We're just going to want like 1 for now. So we'll go ahead and click there and do 1. And then, of course, remember, you can change your order type to market. I always encourage you to do limit. Gives you better control over, how much you're willing to pay, the most you're willing to pay, or the least you're willing to receive if it's a credit. And then, of course, you can change your limit price as well. Now, remember, you can always click on this arrow here to take a look at what's going on here. So this is a debit. We're paying a debit here, which is what you're supposed to do when you put debit spread. We're paying $78 to enter this. It's telling me I have 2 day trades left. Now, the debit you pay is also going to be your max loss. That's the most you can lose here, $78. And your max profit, this is telling me, is $122. And if you want to figure out what your max profit is with a put debit spread, you can figure it out very quickly. What you do is you subtract the strikes from each other. So 39 minus 37 is 2. Multiply that by 100. That's 200. Subtract how much you're paying, 78. 200 minus 78 is 122. That's going to give you your max profit. So if you want to quickly figure that out, that's how you would do that. So that looks okay to me. Again, you can also take a look at the graph here. Make sure the graph makes sense. Yes, we're making money when NEO drops. Again, the put debit spread is a bearish strategy, so that makes sense. And then, of course, if we take a look here, we're going to start to hit our max profit when NEO hits $37 or under, right? Which again is what we want. That's why we sold the put at the $37 strike. However, if it goes up, you're going to see that we're going to start to lose money, right? So we don't want the stock to go up. And again, you can also switch things up on this part as well. So ultimately, you would do that, and then you would place your trade here. This would allow you to go ahead and place your order, and then you would buy here, right? But again, before you ever enter the trade, it's always important to actually visually take a look at how or what your profits will be, what your losses will be, depending on the date, depending on the price of NEO, because again, it only really shows you what it looks like when it expires, right? So again, what I like to do here now is go over to the options profit calculator, visually take a look at what this looks like. So let's go over there to the options, the option strat calculator. So this is going to be right here, and then we can go to build. And again, this is the bear put spread. So you'll find it under the right here, bear put spread. So we'll click on that. And then again, let's go to the stock we chose. So we chose NEO, and then we chose our expiration of September 17th. So remember, we started by selling our put at the $37 strike, which is right here, to help finance or pay for the put that we're buying. And then we bought our put at a higher strike. We chose 39. And so this is what it looked like, right? So this is a debit, right? We're paying a debit. We're paying $80. That ends up being our max loss as well. Our max profit is 120. Again, subtract the strikes, 2 times 100, 200 minus 80. Our max loss is 120. So that makes sense. And then it gives us our break even. So we can kind of take a look here, again, how this will look like on the expiration date. And again, ideally, then what we want to happen here is on the expiration for NEO to be under $37 a share, because that's where we would make our max profit of $120. Again, also take a look at, what implied volatility does to this. If implied volatility goes up, what happens? If implied volatility drops, what happens, right? So again, this is a very great tool. Always use this prior to entering your options trade just to get a better idea, a better feel as to what your trade will look like. So ultimately, that's how you set up a put debit spread on Webull. That's how it works, and this is what you want to happen. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Check out the Discord, link to it in the description below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time.